Imagine a world where time stands still, where the air is thick with the scent of earth and history, and where a single bite can transport you centuries into the past. Welcome to the mysterious realm of the world's rarest blue cheese, a delicacy so unique, so steeped in tradition that only a handful of people on the planet have ever tasted it in its purest form. Today, we embark on a journey deep into the heart of Europe, to secret caves and ancient villages, to uncover the secrets behind the making of this extraordinary cheese. This is not just a story about food, it's a story about people, about place, about patience, and about the magic that happens when nature and human ingenuity come together in perfect harmony. Our story begins in a remote mountain valley, where the landscape is as dramatic as the cheese it produces. Here, in a region untouched by the rush of modern life, lies a village that has guarded its blue cheese-making secrets for generations. The villagers speak in hushed tones about the caves that dot the hillsides, caves that are more than just holes in the ground, but living, breathing cellars where the rarest blue cheese in the world is born. These caves are cool and damp, their walls covered in a fine, powdery mold that is as old as the hills themselves. It is here, in this otherworldly environment, that the magic begins. But what makes this blue cheese so rare? It's not just the location, or the caves, or even the recipe, though all of these play a part. The true secret lies in the milk, and in the hands of the people who transform it. The cows, sheep, or goats that provide the milk for this cheese graze on wild herbs and flowers that grow only in this valley. Their diet infuses the milk with subtle flavors that cannot be replicated anywhere else in the world. The farmers rise before dawn to milk their animals by hand, a ritual that has changed little in hundreds of years. The milk is collected in wooden pails, still warm from the animal, and carried to the village creamery where the day's work begins. In the creamery, the milk is poured into large copper vats, where it is gently warmed over a wood fire. The cheesemaker, often the same person who milked the animals that morning, adds a carefully measured dose of rennet, a natural enzyme that causes the milk to coagulate. As the milk thickens, the cheesemaker stirs it with a long wooden paddle, breaking up the curds and releasing the whey. This is a delicate process, requiring a practiced hand and a keen eye. Too much stirring, and the curds will be tough. Too little, and the cheese will not develop its signature texture. Once the curds have reached the perfect consistency, they are scooped into cloth-lined molds and pressed gently to remove excess whey. The cheese is then salted by hand, a step that not only seasons the cheese, but also helps to preserve it during the long aging process. But the most important step is yet to come. The young cheeses are carried one by one into the caves, where they will spend the next several months or even years maturing in the cool, humid air. Inside the caves, the cheeses are placed on wooden shelves, stacked high along the walls. The air is thick with the scent of mold and earth, and the only light comes from the flickering of a lantern or the faint glow of sunlight filtering through a crack in the rock. Here, the cheeses are left to age, but they are not forgotten. Every few days, the cheesemaker returns to the cave to turn the wheels, brush away excess mold, and check on their progress. It is during this time that the cheese develops its distinctive blue veins, as naturally occurring molds, unique to these caves, work their way through the paste. The process is as much art as science. The cheesemaker must know exactly when to pierce the cheese with long, thin needles, allowing air to enter and encouraging the growth of the blue mold. This step is critical. Too early, and the cheese will be overwhelmed by the mold. Too late, and the blue veins will not develop properly. It is a dance with nature, a careful balancing act that requires years of experience and an intimate knowledge of the caves. As the months pass, the cheese slowly transforms. The rind thickens and hardens, protecting the creamy interior. The blue veins spread, creating intricate patterns that are as beautiful as they are delicious. The flavor deepens, becoming more complex and intense with each passing week. By the time the cheese is ready to be eaten, it has absorbed the essence of the cave, the minerals in the air, the wild herbs from the valley, the touch of the cheesemaker's hands. But the story of the world's rarest blue cheese is not just about the cheese itself. It is about the people who make it and the traditions they keep alive. In this village, cheesemaking is more than a job. It is a way of life, a source of pride, and a link to the past. The recipes are passed down from parent to child, guarded as closely as any family secret. The caves are sacred spaces, respected and revered by all who enter. And the cheese, when it is finally ready, is shared with friends and neighbors in a celebration that brings the whole community together. This is the world of the rarest blue cheese, a world where time moves slowly, where nature and tradition are honored, and where every wheel of cheese tells a story. In the next section, we will delve deeper into the history of blue cheese, tracing its origins back through the centuries, and exploring the myths and legends that surround this most mysterious of foods. But for now, let us linger a moment longer in the cool, dark caves, breathing in the scent of earth and mold, and marveling at the magic that happens when people and place come together in pursuit of perfection. To truly appreciate the rarest blue cheese in the world, we must journey back in time, to an era when cheese itself was a marvel of human ingenuity. The story of blue cheese is as old as civilization, woven into the fabric of ancient cultures and whispered about in the annals of culinary history. Some say blue cheese was discovered by accident, when a forgotten wheel of cheese was left in a damp cave and nature took its course. Others believe it was the result of careful observation and experimentation by early cheesemakers who noticed that certain molds could transform ordinary cheese into something extraordinary. Whatever the truth, blue cheese has always been shrouded in mystery and legend. In the ancient world, cheese was both sustenance and symbol. It was a way to preserve the bounty of the land, to turn perishable milk into a food that could last through the long winter months. But blue cheese was something special, a delicacy reserved for the tables of kings and priests, a food imbued with magical properties. In the caves of southern France, in the hills of Italy, and in the valleys of Spain, blue cheese became a mark of distinction, a testament to the skill and patience of the cheesemaker. The earliest written records of blue cheese date back to the Roman Empire, where it was prized for its bold flavor and supposed health benefits. Pliny the Elder, a Roman naturalist, wrote of a cheese from the region of Gaul that was veined with blue and green mold, and which was considered the finest in the world. This cheese, he claimed, was so delicious that it was served at the banquets of emperors and sought after by traders from distant lands. Over the centuries, blue cheese spread across Europe, each region developing its own unique style and method of production. But while blue cheese became a staple in many parts of the world, the rarest varieties remained hidden, known only to a select few. These cheeses were made in secret, in caves that were passed down from generation to generation, their locations guarded as closely as any treasure. The molds that gave the cheese its distinctive blue veins were unique to each cave, a product of the local environment and the careful stewardship of the cheesemakers. In some villages, the right to make blue cheese was inherited, a privilege reserved for the eldest son or daughter, and the recipes were never written down, but memorized and recited like sacred texts. The process of making blue cheese has changed little over the centuries. The basic ingredients, milk, rennet, salt, and mold, remain the same, but the techniques have been refined and perfected over generations. In the past, cheesemakers relied on intuition and experience, using their senses to judge when the curds were ready, when the cheese needed to be turned, and when the blue veins were just right. Today, some of these traditions have been codified, but in the most remote villages, the old ways still hold sway. One of the most fascinating aspects of blue cheese is the role of the caves. These natural cellars provide the perfect environment for aging cheese, with their cool temperatures, high humidity, and unique microbial populations. The caves are living ecosystems, teeming with bacteria, yeasts, and molds that interact with the cheese in complex and unpredictable ways. No two caves are exactly alike, and the flavor of the cheese can vary dramatically depending on where it is aged. In some cases, the caves themselves are considered part of the family, named and cared for as lovingly as any heirloom. The relationship between cheesemaker and cave is one of mutual respect. The cheesemaker tends to the cheese, turning and brushing it, while the cave provides the conditions necessary for the blue mold to flourish. It is a partnership that has endured for centuries, a testament to the power of tradition and the wisdom of those who came before. In the rarest cases, the caves are so prized that they are never shown to outsiders, and only a handful of people know their exact location. But the story of blue cheese is not just about the past, it is also about the present and the future. In recent years, there has been a resurgence of interest in traditional cheesemaking as people seek out authentic, artisanal foods that connect them to the land and to history. The rarest blue cheeses have become symbols of this movement, celebrated for their complexity, their depth of flavor, and their connection to a way of life that is fast disappearing. Chefs and food lovers from around the world travel to remote villages in search of these elusive cheeses, eager to taste a piece of history and to support the communities that keep these traditions alive. Yet, with this renewed interest comes new challenges. The pressures of modern life, urbanization, climate change, and the demands of mass production threaten the delicate balance that makes these cheeses possible. The caves are vulnerable to environmental changes, and the molds that give the cheese its character can be lost if not carefully preserved. The younger generation, lured by the promise of city life, may not always choose to carry on the family tradition. And so, the future of the world's rarest blue cheese hangs in the balance, dependent on the dedication of a few passionate individuals who refuse to let the old ways die. As we continue our journey, we will meet some of these guardians of tradition, cheesemakers who have devoted their lives to preserving the art and science of blue cheese. We will learn about their daily routines, their hopes and fears, and the sacrifices they make to keep the flame of tradition burning. We will also explore the science behind blue cheese, delving into the mysteries of mold and fermentation, and discovering how a simple wheel of cheese can become a masterpiece of flavor and aroma. For now, let us remember that every bite of the rarest blue cheese is a taste of history, a link to a world that is both ancient and ever-changing. In the next section, we will step inside the caves themselves to witness the magic of blue cheese aging firsthand, and to uncover the secrets that make this cheese unlike any other in the world.